to first, I think it seems like our first day of mindfulness, open to the public. So please sit beautifully. This place is called the Hidden Mountain, the Great Hidden Mountain, place where native people have lived here in this valley, in this hidden mountain. It's like a refuge. So if you forget about your calendar, you can touch that. The people who lived here, very close to the land and very harmonious with the land. They cooked, they harvest, they hunt, they played around in this mountain. So just be aware of that, the land and the indigenous people here. I'll come back to our breath. You can close your eyes and take a moment. Some of us have driven here, most of us. And this moment is for us to truly arrive, not wanting anything, not expecting anything, just being with our breath. Breathing in, I arrive with my in-breath. Breathing out, I arrive with my out-breath. In, out. Breathing in, I'm aware of my body sitting on the ground, on a cushion, or in a chair. Feel the weight of my body. Feel the gravity of planet Earth, helping me center. Straighten my back. Open my chest. Relax my arm. Don't need to hold on to anything. We run all day, all week. Now our body is still. How wonderful, just to sit still. Not having to do anything. Nowhere to go. I relax my body. Any place in tension, my neck, my shoulder, my two arms, just let it go. Let the force of gravity pull our muscles. With each breath, I let go, be with my body. In, aware of my body sitting still. Out, relaxing my body. Breathing in, become aware of my feelings, my emotions. How am I feeling? Maybe some stress, some tension, some anger, resentment. I recognize my feelings. It's okay. Breathing out, I relax my feelings, my emotions. It's just an emotion, just a feeling. I may be feeling peaceful, calm, feeling silent, like a clear lake. Just reflecting the emotion just as it is. No need to act, to say, to think anything. Aware of my feelings, I breathe in. Letting the emotion just be there. I breathe out. Breathing in, I'm aware that I'm alive. My body is warm. I can feel alive, breathing, feeling my body. How wonderful just to be alive. Be able to breathe, to have health, my health good enough. I'm able to sit, I can walk. One day I will get sick, not be able to walk. Now I'm alive and healthy enough. Just simply being alive, I'm already grateful. Breathing in, I'm alive. Breathing out, I smile to life. Dear beloved Thay, dear noble community, dear family, dear friends. Today is the 20th of February, year 2022, and we're having a day of mindfulness here at Deer Park Monastery in beautiful Southern California. We're kind of actually enjoying kind of like the spring of Deer Park already. I think I always see Deer Park, we only have two seasons. We have dry season and wet season. And this year the wet season is very small, short. And so we're moving, hopefully not too quickly, into summer. The flowers are blooming, the pollen is already spreading. And so that we had a nice beautiful walk this morning with Thay Phap. He led us into the oak grove, and it's so wonderful. We're so blessed to have this place to come and take a break from our, how do you call it, four walls at home, from our urban environment. So nice to be in nature, to be where the leaves are out there and not everything is neat. I especially loved this morning during the walk, seeing the grass is like this high, you know, and it reminded me when I lived at home when I was younger, and my dad loved to cut the grass, and he never let the grass grow very tall. It's always like, as soon as it's like, he'll cut it. And it's only after I practiced that I began to appreciate actually tall grass. You know, I used to look at grass and it's like, oh, you're too tall, you know, or you're too wild. And, you know, it was just from growing up in the urban environment, we like to cut everything and make it like nice and neat. And this morning, so I was really enjoying, and I saw one grass bush, and it grew into like a huge bush, and it had actually a seed pod, a seed branches with seeds on them, and I was so happy for the grass, because not many grass get to make it to seedling. I don't know if you notice. But I was so happy to see a grass, like just like be able to flower, and made me really happy. And it's that kind of thing that I enjoy. And I learned this from our teacher, to appreciate nature and to love the wonder of life in little things. It doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be your birthday to be happy. And this is what I have learned, and the practice has helped me to come in touch with the miracle of being alive, being particularly on this planet with life. There's so much desire and ambition to find life somewhere else. But here on this planet, there's life, there's water, there's dirt, there's dirtiness, messiness. You know, on the moon, on Mars, it's nice and clean and very desolate, uniform, right? So it's just a wonder just to enjoy that and to step gently and to see the clovers. They are also able to become whole, to be able to flower and be themselves. These little yellow flowers are blooming. And so this is a gift that nature, Mother Earth, gives us every day. And we don't recognize it. And we We're too busy, I think, as a human family, as a human species, trying to achieve many things. So this is today a gift. You come up here, not just take a picture and tell your loved one at home that I've been to Deer Park. You didn't come up here to, just eat the good food that the monks and nuns make. You didn't come up here for these other reasons, but to actually be reminded to see the miracle, simply being alive. There's a break from our usual, right? We're so busy the 5 days, maybe 6, and some of us 7 days of the week. We don't have time to enjoy anything. We're constantly, we don't feel we have the right. We're constantly running to be something. And so this is what the grass teaches me this morning. For us to just simply be grass and and not to just be a lawn for someone to play golf, but just to be grass. Useless grass. It's nice. Sometimes I learned how to look at weeds and mushroom and fungus differently through the practice. Through the practice of changing a little bit our views about things that we accept before as kind of a nuance, as useless. It's like, and I have to smile too because I have allergies. So with grass, there's a price. More itchy eyes, more sneezing. But you know what I focus on? I focus on all the bugs that love grass. And some of us don't like bugs. I love bugs, especially weird looking ones. And they love tall grass, right? And have you ever laid in the grass, tall grass? It's amazing how many bugs come onto your face. And they're strange, all very strange bugs. And they have a place too. And so we have to look again about how we see nature, our place. When I take care of children here in Deer Park, I always tell them to take their shoes off and we're gonna go and step on the grass and the dirt. No, don't do that. Or lay in the grass. I love having children lay in the grass and pretend we're worms. And it's very healing to remove our human ideas and things and allow nature to accept us just as we are. Wouldn't it be nice if we just, of course you have to work and have to run your business and pay your checks and stuff. But it would be nice just to like the grass, just to be ourselves, be human, and that's enough. I think the economy wouldn't run. I think things would be really freaky. People would freak out, right? It's no, get out there, work, buy something, do something. So today is for you to be grass and be okay. To allow yourself, I don't want to say wild, but be okay to be fully grass, even if it makes you sneeze. So that's what a day of mindfulness is. We come here and to know that we are enough. We don't need to take more pictures. We don't need to have more experiences. We don't need to be somebody for someone else. Just to be ourselves. That is the practice. Arriving and being at home with ourselves. So that is the gift today. And when we walk like that, it's to nourish that sense of being human and enjoying walking. You know, so many of us, we equate walking with arriving to go somewhere. But walking meditation, what we did, is just take a stroll. Recently, a brother of mine told me he likes the word stroll. I like it too. A stroll? Where are you going? Oh, I'm just strolling. Isn't that nice? No, where are you going? I'm just strolling. I think we need more strolling. Except, you know, people might think you're strange. Why are you walking around the neighborhood? I'm just enjoying my walking. Very different from I'm walking my dog. You know, get something done. I'm strolling. No purpose. So walking meditation, we walk. Just walk for walking's sake. Isn't that nice? Give that permission. And sitting for sitting's sake. And later we will eat and enjoy our meal and to feel the love of nature through the carrots, the rice, the mushroom, the tofu. You see how Mother Earth, this planet, this life force, this biomatter that supports us, and we are part of that. But we eat because we have to. We have to get vitamin this, vitamin that, iron. You know, we look at broccoli not as a wonder of nature, but it has iron in it. It's good for me. It's useful. It's, you know, it's always something. It's just love. You know, I ate a pear the other day and I was like, this is the most amazing filtering system of the planet. The Mother Earth like takes water, the sun, nature, everything, and just wraps it up in this like thing, little brown thing, and just so much water in it, and it's flavored. And you can feel Mother Earth and her love for us, the gift of a fruit. And then I turn it around and I look at the belly of the pear. You know the belly, every fruit has a belly button. You know that? Everyone touch your belly button. See, you're kind of a fruit. I don't mean that as a demeaning. It's, you know, where did you come from? I mean, there was a scissor once. Some farmer took you from your mother's tree. We forget. So once in a while, remember, you have a belly button. You're kind of a fruit. You're not fruity, but you're a fruit. I don't know what that means, but people say that, right? But isn't that nice? I love it. Children love to do that. When I tell children that, you're very much like this apple, this banana, this pumpkin. You know why? Because look, I turn it around and I show them, they have a belly button just like you. You see how if we look at things differently than just the human drama, oh, I don't like it. But to connect ourselves with the grass, with the fruit, the cucumber, everything, there's a relationship. The acorn, you pick it up. saw a agave plant starting to bloom right across the asphalt road. And immediately said, okay, where is your parents? And I look up the hill, and I know there was a agave plant up there, and it bloomed maybe 6-7 years ago, I remember, and it fell over the hill. And from its flower, it has seeds. Probably took, so it's like 7-8 years before this agave plant bloomed. And I kind of came down and I touched it. It's like, wow, thank you. It's just a wonder, huh? To see the cycle, and to see these little wonders in our lives. And that's this environment. So please, before you go back into your car and drive home, please find a moment on your own, possibly. Because sometimes with your friend, you talk a lot and you share about too many things. Take your time and go get lost somewhere in Deer Park. Just find a route somewhere. Don't ask for direction or which path you should go on to. Just go and find something before you leave. And don't take a picture of it. That's my gift to you. I've known people who have done that, and they have shared with me. That's getting lost and finding yourself. Because when you interact with nature, you don't need to think. And you deserve that. Our human drama we have to deal with every day, with people liking, not liking, agreeing, not agreeing, hurting, loving. That's the human realm. But we also have the non-human realm. And so this environment is very healing. This morning we walked here for the meditation hall at 5:30, and the moon was right here, bright. And I noticed a lot of sisters coming up, they didn't use their flashlight. It's so nice to walk without a flashlight in the moonlight. That's a miracle. This planet getting the reflection from the sun that has not risen yet. You walk like that, you really appreciate your life. And you deserve to have those kind of experiences. And this is the practice. The mindfulness energy can help us. So that is a gift for us. So let us enjoy that. A moment to hear the sound of the bell. And to know it's okay to be grass. To be useless. It's okay to let myself grow wild, naturally. I am enough. I'm okay. This is where I'm at. And I smile to life. Dear friends, I think today is a few weeks since the passing of our teacher, beloved teacher Thay. And I think that the monastics, our community has been practicing we had 1 week of practicing to honor and to continue and to recollect our teacher's life. And in that remembering and recollection, we also renew our aspiration and to continue that energy. This is, we're still in that period. And our teacher, his whole life, it was all to serve other people since he became a monk at the age of 16. His entire life was dedicated to helping people who are in need, who are suffering. That's what I keep coming back to. Wow, yeah, your whole life is not to make money, become powerful, famous, to not even just to raise your own personal family, but to dedicate your life in the service of other people and go to wherever there is a need, there is suffering. Now that, for me, it's just, it's been fueling me with a lot of energy. And our teacher is also a kind of a product from a history, a period when there was a lot of violence, war in Vietnam. So there was no way you can just practice Buddhism, stay in the temple and chant, but you had to go out there and help people who are suffering, to help rebuild the villages that were being bombed. So our teacher grew up as a monk in that period. So he had to dig really hard to find practices to help us deal with the uncertainty and the violence that was happening around him. So this is the birth of the practice of engaged Buddhism. And to help end the war and to bring peace to the country, our teacher had to go to America, to go outside, to go to Europe, to go to the Western countries that were, to America that was actually bombing our country. And people questioned him, was like, why don't you just go back to Vietnam and help them? And I remember Thay shared that he answered to that reporter. He said, well, I have to go to the place, the root of how the war started. They said, I think he said, if you want to water the tree, you don't water the branches. You have to go to the root. So the root of the war, of the misunderstanding, the wrong view about Vietnam and what was happening was in America. So he had to do that to bring peace to the country. So that's what brought him outside of Vietnam. And he was not allowed to go back because he helped end the war. And many people were really upset, the North and the South. So just to let you know that the origin of why and how we are here and why there's Plum Village Deer Park is because this aspiration to try to help end war and help change wrong ideas, wrong perception. There's a lot of fear. And we continue to do that. In fact, there's fear starting to arise now with Ukraine and Russia. And so you can see the same exact human drama coming again because of wrong perception, how we present each other. And this will continue if we don't really look at how we look and view the world and the purpose of being human beings, of humanity. sometimes sit and meditate, and I like to remind myself that I was on a boat in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Maybe a boat with 200 people. I'm a refugee. One day, if anything, I would love to go back out in the ocean on a boat with, no land in sight. I have this memory that keeps bugging me because I don't know if it's really real or is it from movies or from my imagination. And sometimes I sit and meditate on that to remind myself where I come from and what, kind of a little bit what my purpose is. Our parents didn't escape and, try to look for a better future for their children, myself. That courage to do that, it's happening as well right now, at the borders as well as through across nation. So you can see that some of the conditions that produce our teacher is still happening. And so within people, there's also that potential to try to help the situation. People have also asked our teacher why he's not doing more like political action and to bring more peace and call for peace and so on. I think that's work is needed, but I've never heard Thay answer it. But looking at his last 30 years, 20 years, where he focuses on retreat and helping people touch peace and be okay with themselves, and to know how to love themselves and to love other people, I feel that that is the root of a lot of war and a lot of wrong perception. And it's also acknowledged that there's many kinds of war. War that is declared, war that's fought by bullets and bombs. But there's also war within us. That is the root. Do you see why in the last 20, 30 years our teachers focus on helping people bring peace to themselves? Because it's only through the disturbance within us that we have the capacity, the fear of actually condoning violence and war. So for me, this is Thay's adaptation coming to the West, to many countries, not only in America, but in Europe and Asia as well. Our modern life, we have to begin to see it like that. There's a kind of warfare within us. The busyness, the rushing, the inability to be happy in the present moment is a kind of war. You're sitting there, all of a sudden your phone rings. It's a bomb. It's urban warfare. I've seen it at the airport. Oh my gosh. And there is slavery. You talk about colonization. These little things is like taking over the entire planet. It's hard to resist because there's something biologically in us that we like, Can you imagine if I'm giving a Dharma talk and I said, hold on a second. Wait a second, hold on. See how it can take over everything? And that is what's happening to our psyche, through media, through interaction, through expectation of our society. I shared recently somewhere that driving on the freeway, I mean, if you're not careful, you get attacked. And if you're not careful, you attack people. I mean, I can't believe it's like to that state now. I have to drive and really be careful that I don't have hateful thoughts. Because that's in our, I mean, can you imagine me driving as a monk, kind of shooting laser beam at people? It's like, so unfortunately I can't do that anymore. But I remember doing stuff like that. So now when I had to drive, when I had to go, my mom, visit my family, I have to really put on like, I don't want to say armor, but my mindfulness, my awareness. When I turn on the car, I know what I'm heading into. And if I'm not aware of it, I can become really, really mean. So when you turn on the car and you drive, especially the 405, who drives on the 405? It's crazy. Oh my God. It's like so many lanes, but people feel like it's not enough. Like people are cutting each other like viciously now. And that is our society. You can see the origin of war. Why someone would actually condone bombing another country, another group of people. They deserve it. Or we need to protect our own lane. This is my lane. Don't cut in front of it. See the origin? There's a link of why our teacher emphasized for people to come back to themselves. And when you know how to take care of yourself, know how to take care of your suffering, your sadness, your feelings, know how to nourish yourself with nature, with being okay, then your mind is very different. You have your heart. When you understand all that, then the love is very natural. Your ability to empathize and feel. So this is our teacher's message in the later part of his life, is to help humans to be okay, to be grass, to be clover, to be natural, to be human. There's so much, even our own family, there's so much expectation from our own parents, our own siblings, our relatives. And this is, please be careful. Don't go back and tell them, it's like, no, you do what you do. I'm going to stick with my, you have to try to stay harmonious in the family. So I say this with some disclaimer because I have also grown up in a family. You have to be skillful. And mindfulness energy helps us because it's the kind of awareness when we understand where we're at, what's going on with us, then we have the capacity to see things more clearly. And that's what Buddhism is. That's all it is. It's actually a wrong labeling that it's a Buddhism. There is no Buddhism in the time when this Indian person discovered that why are we running around like crazy? Why are we hurting each other? And he sees it is because we're not able to be and to accept ourselves. We're not able to handle our feelings. We don't know how to nourish ourselves. That, for me, we should relabel Buddhism and call it humanism. Humanism. It's a new religion now, okay? I just found it. Humanism. Is it? Ism. Humanism. There's probably already that. I'm sure many people have realized that, God, it's just nice just to be human. And this is what this person we call the Buddha had found. A way for us to see, wow, it's amazing to be human. Hey, wake up, you guys. And he also exclaimed when he got enlightened, he said, everyone has this capacity, everyone, it's not exclusive. It's like, wow, that's all he realized. He's like, man, why are we running around? And he found the method, the way of doing that. And he began, that's where the master teacher comes alive, and how to, he always didn't want to do it. He's like, oh man, it's gonna be hard. And then it's written in the sutra, like some diva, some spirit came up and told him, oh, come on, you gotta help us out here, you know? And he's like, no, it's gonna be really hard to convince people that not to run around, that they're okay, and that you don't need another, you know, another house, another car. You don't need to be promoted. It's okay to be where you're at. You don't need to get promotion. Can you believe trying to convince them? No, but I need more. I mean, I got all this, you know, I want this. I want promotion. So I can feel a little bit how hard and why someone would like go like, God, how do you convince people not to bomb another country? You see the fear, the root of how we're so stuck, entrenched about how we see the world and the purpose of being human. That's how difficult it is for this one person. And that's why you can see how he's like, nah, I'm just gonna get enlightened for myself and like go enjoy my bliss. But I'm sure in his psyche he knew that, you know, this is not about me. So this is the origin of this practice, this way that we call now Buddhism, or the Buddhist practice, or even mindfulness practice. Mindfulness, mind fully present. So that's all it is. If you're fully present and your breathing was the tool that he discovered while you sit still, you train yourself to follow your breath. And the more you're with your breath, the more you have the capacity to be present. So stopping so that we can be there. And why is that? Because then you can see so many things. The wonder of this magnificent arrangement that I know my sister put a lot of love into. So when I'm fully present, I can feel the love. And you don't have to like it, or don't like it, or this, oh, it reminds me. You just feel the love. When you're present, you don't expect your loved one, come on, honey. You put your thing down, you stop twitching with it. You think, okay, honey, I'm here with you. Maybe for 15 minutes, but I'm going to be here for you. Can you imagine that? That's all it is. And that is what the war is for your presence. And when you're present, you can see, she's sitting next to me. She's translating for me. And this is so wonderful. Are you translating for him? You are, aren't you? Yeah. That's so lovely. And when you recognize these things, It's an exchange, right? So you see the war? It's to take all that away from you. So this is, and this place here is a refugee camp, Deer Park. We come here to take refuge and to remind ourselves of this capacity for us to be present for ourselves, so that we have the capacity to be present with our lives. Things bad happen, things good happen, present, recognize it. Then we can move on into other realms. But first, being present. And then you're more non-reactive, hopefully. And there's other training. First training, learn to be present with your breath. Be present with your body. And there is different trainings in the practice that the Buddha found, our teachers emphasize. When we're present, then we can look at things as they are. We begin to see things that no other people see. That it's okay for the grass to grow. I was like, how come they're not cutting grass here? Oh, these monks and nuns, they're so lazy. What do they do all day? This monastery is a mess. It hasn't changed since 20 years. What do they do around here? Sorry, this is my own thinking. We're so useless. What do they do up there? So when we're present, we begin to look more deeply. We begin to see deeper. And that's all it is. And when you have time to look at things, then you begin to understand things. And when you begin to understand things, you can relate differently to things. So understanding, having insight, having a different viewpoint about it from what you've been trained to by your society, by your parents, by your relatives. And when you understand, the more understanding you have of that, the more the capacity for you to understand another person. And that's why it's so hard in this practice, is that you can't skip this part. If you can't understand yourself, if you don't know how to stop, if you don't know how to accept yourself as you are, it's very hard for you to demand that and expect that from other people. That's one of the truths that's very hard to accept. So anytime you feel overwhelmed, like your relationship is falling apart and things are going not your way, it's a signal for you to step on the brakes, return back to yourself, take care of yourself, nourish yourself, revive yourself, so that you have more space, more stillness, then you can see things from a different perspective. That is basically it. We can have many days of mindfulness, many Dharma talks, but it's all the same thing. Underneath is that message. Learn how to stop, clear yourself, calm, so you can see things, and then you don't make more suffering. It's not like so you can see really how things are, because it's always changing, but it's so that you can understand, and then you have more space for it. That's love, right? When you have love, you don't expect, you don't demand, you don't ask people for things that they don't have. And you don't take on things that you can't hold. When you are present and you are not running, then you have that capacity. And we have seasons. We have to also know when we come back, we're like, okay, I'm in winter. I am not spring. I am in winter, and it's okay. Don't ask for summer in winter. you're going to suffer. So we also have seasons, and it's so nice. Can you imagine being spring all the time? Yippee-yay. You know, it's a kind of suffering. You know, because you're not really looking at it. So this is the beauty of nature, rhythms, cycle. And we have to allow ourselves to be in touch with that. We are not mechanical. We are not automatic. We are not a schedule. Although I know I should be ending soon. We're also practical. But we're more than that. But don't be just that, okay? Don't be automatic, scheduled, and predictable, and sorry, this is, if it doesn't fit you, don't take it. I'm just sharing if it feels like it fits you. This is my own suffering. And I share with you what Thay had taught me. What I learned and helped me to become more okay with who I am. Our lives are so organized and so controlled. It is a kind of suffering. Because, as you know, people are not going to do what we want. Things change. I'm telling you this because it's happening with the monks and nuns right now. There's like people coming up to me, it's like, Thay, what's going to happen? Are we going to keep the retreat or not? It's like, just relax. It's like, chill out. We'll see when we look at it more. So it's like, even, you know, all of that is so like, there's stuff that you can't control. And you just breathe and just say, well, okay, we'll see. You know, no, I need to know now. We need to have a meeting right away. Like, okay, that's not a good time to meet when we have too much emotion. So you're clear. You know, you just need everyone to calm down. So anytime you're grasping, and you know it, you have to let go. Anytime you're pushing away, relax, and just accept it. So the practice. Sorry, I share with you what I'm practicing with right now. So I'll wrap it up here. We will have the recitation of the 5 mindfulness training, which is our teacher has revived and put into a language that can relate to us, and it can help us reflect on a lot of things about where our lives are. So the recitation is every month we come together to recite that. So in the practice of Buddhism, these guidelines, these 5 mindfulness training, help us relate to the world. As you will see when you listen to the recitation, that each of the 5 training is to help us relate to the world in a particular realm. So this is, in our practice, the mindfulness training is like the foundation of our practice. So it's not just to meditate and, you know, have an experience and then be okay with that and just keep coming back for that, but also to begin to look deeply at our relationship with the world, with life, with the media, with our loved ones, with all these different energies. So it's a very engaging practice. So this is the love of our teacher to help translate the meditation, so it involves a lot of other aspects of our lives, especially with society and our family. And so this is something And I love about our tradition is that it allows us to affect the world as well, and to be aware how it affects us. So this is the training. So each time we recite it, it's like a mirror. Each sentence is a way for us to reflect. It's like, oh, how am I doing in this realm? You see? So your mindfulness, your awareness of these particular aspects of your lives be enlightened. You're like, okay, I need to reduce my speech in this area. So that's what a recitation is. It's a continued contemplation, looking deeply. So that we will organize that in a little bit right after this. So I hope my sharing was not too offensive to anyone, but I still share with you what I received from our teacher. It's how to be a human being, and to learn how to be a human being the best that I can in my lifespan, this particular, and to know, to be grateful that there are many who have done it, who have actually have stopped the war. So this is my deep aspiration, to just stop running and to enjoy the gift of this life the best that I can. And while doing that, to help others, to serve others in my capacity, in my season. So I'm not always serving, I'm also retreating and like, okay, I have enough, I need a break. So when I say serving, you also need to know how to be in harmony with where you're at. So this is very important. To be human is not an excuse, but to be human is to be whole and to recognize the cycle. Not within the 4 seasons, but even within a day. To watch your feelings, watch your emotion. Are you present constantly? That's mindfulness. Mindfulness is remembering, recollecting, and reminding yourself. Okay, am I here? Okay, am I still here? If I'm here, how much? So you begin to know yourself better. And that's all it is. So we hope you continue the rest of the day, the ceremony, the lunch, the recitation, in that spirit, taking care of ourselves, returning back to ourselves. So thank you for coming up today and to be together. And it's so nice to be physically together as a group. You know, the last 2 years, there's so much media about fear of other people and the proximity. So it's so healing, actually, to be in a big room and recognize that, okay, there's a lot of people here. And to really enjoy, because you know, we all need to come up and take a break. And to know that it's okay, it's going to be okay for the human family, for our situation, for ourselves, wherever we are at. Everything is impermanent, will change, and it's cycle. Don't grab onto it, because then it can't change. Release and let it turn. Your feelings, your emotion, your drama, your situation, it also has a life. We don't let it grow, we hold on to it, we make it plastic, Let it go. Let it be. Let it decompose. Let it bloom. Okay, that is the, you see the humanism, the naturalism? That is all it is. We are not mechanical. We are not a schedule. We can't be predicted how much you try. So this is our teacher's life and this tradition to help us just to be okay and be enough. So thank you, and let's breathe together 3 sounds of the bell with the intention, with the deliberation to be enough. I am enough. I am okay. My life has some challenges and difficulty, but I have a life. I'm living. I'm safe enough. Let's enjoy that.